Hello guys, this is your Uncle Big Fish, and on this video I want to talk about a couple things, and I wanted to share some tips and tricks that I found out while playing in the game. I'll be skipping most of the unimportant ones, as I expect most of you to already know most of the stuff. They're too obvious, stuff that you can actually get from the tutorial. So on this video, we'll just be skipping to the important ones that you might have missed. Now, the very first one is going to be a place that you can find in the map called Stonewall Airfield, which will be here. Alright? Now, you can actually go down, use your mount, and you want to land right on this balcony. Make sure to not press it too quickly, and you want to land right there, like so. Now, once you're here, there'll be a crow, and all you need to do is to just walk very close to him, and you'll get an achievement. This achievement will give you a free weapon costume gacha. So this one is, this kind of crows you can actually find in many different places in the world. However, this is the only one that I found so far. Perhaps someone else might know the locations of more, but for me, this is the only one that I found out. And I actually found this out by accident. Now, the next one is we're going to be talking about classes. A lot of people, especially on YouTube, will tell you stuff like, oh, you should use this class. Oh, you should use that class. You should do this. You should do that. But I honestly think that this is a very dumb way of looking at the game. Because this is an MMORPG game. This is an online game in which the developers have control over what a class could do, how strong or how weak a class is. And in my experience of playing MMORPG games, it has always been the same way, in which a class can become extremely broken or extremely garbage in a single patch. So, the best thing I can say to you is, play whatever you want. Play whatever you think will keep you in the game the longest. Pick a class that you like. Pick a class that you're interested in. Because at the end of the day, that is really what matters. People say use spears. Is spears really that broken? Yes, they are very broken. For now. Because when a class became too strong, what the developers would often do is nerf it down. And knowing a lot of these Korean developers, they are very bad at holding back. And that is why I believe the spear will be nerfed in the future. How bad is it going to be? I am not sure. But it is certain to happen. So, classes isn't something you should be worrying about too much. Now, the third part is talking about how this game's logic goes. This is a game with a snowball effect, in which you need to get stronger, as strong as possible, as fast as possible. The stronger you get early on, the more you can farm, the faster you can farm, and the further away you can farm. Once you get strong enough, you can actually progress much further into the game. And this allows you to get more money, because that correlates to how much you can farm for Morians, or for the other tokens that you can find in the game. So the key in this game is to get as strong as possible, as fast as possible. One of the worst things that you can do is to sell your stuff early on, so try not to do that. Now, there's a reason why I said don't sell your stuff, and that's because of two different reasons. Number one is, once you go to menu, you can actually go to collect. And when you collect, there's actually stuff here that you can put inside. For example, gears are white, rarity, or green. These are items that are pretty much garbage at this point. But you can put it in, just so you can get the stats. Like, say, melee accuracy, PvP accuracy, melee damage red negation, melee crit. These are stuff that you can get by simply not selling your stuff, or by getting them in the future from market or exchange. However, if you had saved them prior, you don't need to do that. Okay? Next, what I want to talk about for the next part is how do you get as strong as possible, as fast as possible. Well, the first thing that you need to do is to enhance your gears. You want to enhance your weapon, your sub-weapon to +7. This is the cap in which from +0 to +7, it will not break. However, if you attempt to enhance it to +8 or higher, and you fail, the weapon is gonna break. And that's pretty fucking bad, because getting a green weapon at this stage of the game is pretty hard. So I suggest putting it to +7 and be done with it. For armors, they can go up to +5 as the cap. So you want to get these as high as possible, which will be +7s on both weapons and +5s on all of the armor sets. Now, which one do you upgrade first for your accessories? The answer to that will be your necklace, because your necklace gives you accuracy and melee damage. Early on into the game, what matters the most is damage. Damage is everything because of one thing. Early on into the game, the monsters don't hit very hard. And the only thing that stops you from farming faster is the lack of damage. You're not exactly too soft. Even if you're using a squishy class, you can still take a couple hits. So you don't actually have to invest too much on defenses early on. And focus most of your resources on being able to deal as much damage as possible so that you can maximize your farm for that period of time. Next, let's talk about something that you will get later on once you reach level 35. And that's going to be crafting. There is normal crafting and there is specialized craft. Never touch this one. I'll explain why. For normal crafting, when you craft something, you don't really get anything. There's no mastery, there's nothing, and that's pretty much it. However, if you do the specialized craft, you will actually have a meter which determines how proficient you are during your crafting. And this is going to be a big deal, especially when you want to earn money from this game. For example, Nightcrow's twin sword. If I want to get this is a bounded item, so I cannot sell it. But because I'm a veteran grade, if I get lucky and I get a great success by chance, I will, instead of making a bound version, I'll be making an unbound version, one that I can sell. And in case you guys don't know how much this blue weapon cost, take a look at this. 8,000 fucking diamonds. This, if you want to purchase one, is pretty fucking crazy. It's about $100. So don't underestimate this kind of things. Okay? Crafting is very important, and you must always do the specialized crafting. I suggest doing this one 5 or 6 times to get your meter from apprentice to veteran, then start to craft the better ones, like the blue ones or the green ones. Next will be teleport scrolls, which will be these. These teleport scrolls are very important because of 2 reasons, but mostly for this one reason, and that's the fact that this game has free PvP, in which anyone at any point can beat you up. And if they're stronger than you, you will die. And if you die, you will lose experience. Now, how do you run away from someone who is stronger than you? Well, the first thing you can do is to run away towards an opposite direction, and you can press this to teleport to a random location and save yourself. This is only 800 gold. It's very cheap and it can save your life, as it did mine. I was attacked a couple hours ago and I managed to run away simply because I have this item. So keep it. It's going to be more useful than you think. Okay? Next, don't sell anything early on. Some really cheap looking items and gears could be more valuable than you think. Because not just from the collections, but it's also because people who needs it will pay to get the codex. And so you can sell it for stuff like this. For example, these are just incredibly useless items, but some of them, you don't have it right now, will be very expensive because those are stuff that you cannot craft, which is needed for a collection. I cannot really say which one, but there will be a point in which you can't really craft them. And people will pay for those for a good amount of money. Okay? Next one will be if you want to gacha or you want to spend money, you spend it on mounts. And why is that? It's because mounts will always be a plus side. You can equip every single mount in the game. There is no requirement for any kind of mounts in the game. However, if you do gears, for example, you want to get your weapon costumes, there is a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9 different kinds of weapons in this game that you can possibly get. Out of all of this, the only one that you can use is one. And if each of those weapons have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 types, and each of those 5 types have multiples of different kinds, means that your chance of getting what you want is very slim. Say that you get lucky and you did get a mythical, and it turned out not to be the one that you want, then you can't use it. And that's gonna be an investment that's not worth doing. So, don't do that. Instead, go mounts. Mounts are very powerful because of a couple of reasons. One, mounts give you attack speed. Attack speed is something incredibly powerful because it makes you hit faster. If you hit faster, you'll be able to hit more times, you'll be able to actually deal more damage per second compared to just blindly adding more damage. Damage in this game is very vague, in which if you actually look here at your character details, you can look over here and it will tell you your damage. Your weapon damage is currently 1 with a borderline of 20, which means that you will deal a basic damage plus your melee damage, and it's going to have a bonus damage from 1 till 20 by random. This is how damage calculation works in this game. You can't really see it because the game doesn't have numbers, but that is how this game works. Now, one of the last details that I want to share to you guys is not to actually buy beginner books. Now, if you look at here, beginner skills, don't buy these, because these you will get from your main quests. And these actually cost a hefty amount. It's not really worth buying. That's 30, 30, that's 60. 60 plus 80, that's 130. 130 plus 160, that's gonna be 290,000. I could be wrong because I'm just eyeballing it, but you're gonna be losing out on a lot of money over something that you can get pretty much for free. So don't buy those. Next is, you want to go to skills. And when you go to skills, you want to check out skills that actually help you to farm faster. Skills that give you defensive boosts are not really going to be a priority, because by farming faster, you'll be able to gain more gold. If you have more gold, means you're able to buy more quicker. And like I said before, in this game, the early parts of the game isn't really a problem for your defenses, but on your offense. This game has terrible offense, so you have to focus on the offense. I am pretty sure just from enhancing your armors and just a little bit from your stats, from your codex, you can actually have enough defense to survive most attacks early on. And what you should invest on is your damage. Like for me, I'm using a twin sword, and I'm investing on 2 buff skills. Crescent Blade, which adds weapon damage plus 8, and Battle Instinct, that gives dual damage 4. Because this allows me to farm faster. Okay? Now, one of the last things that I want to explain in this game is gonna be a couple class related stuff. And that's gonna be, for now, spears are indeed broken. Spear class is very broken. Why? Because they have the range of a bow and the bulk of a melee. That is why this class is broken. But that's not it. It's also because the damage of this class is relatively high and has hyper armor on a skill, meaning that for a set duration of seconds, they cannot be staggered, which means that you can't bind them, you can't sleep them, you can't stun them, you can't do anything to stagger them. And this is why the spear class is broken. Like I said before, it is very likely for this class to be nerfed, so play at your own risk. Now, there is a reason to why I don't recommend using a popular class. And the reason for that is because you'll have to fight with other people just to get the skill books that you will need later on. Now, if you look at your skills, some skills you need to get from buying it from others in the exchange market. You can scroll down and go to skill books. These, at some point, will be sold by people. And you need these to actually get skills that you can't get otherwise. Now, to get those, you need to buy from exchange, from people who are lucky. And if you're using a class that is being used by pretty much everyone, you will have to fight for it. And these people can really mess up the price, which means that you'll be buying something that everyone demands. And when there's a high demand for the same exact things, the price will fluctuate towards that. So you'll be paying a lot of resources just to buy it. And that is not nice. Next will be one of the worst things that I want to say, and that's going to be regarding the cleric class. The cleric, the spear, and the bow is arguably the three most common classes right now. Clerics are very, very needed, however, play at your own risk, as they are one of the most popular classes in the game. And so, when you have a cleric, and you need to get the skill books, you'll have to fight for it later on. This is going to be a problem, so when something like a skill book for a cleric appears in the market, try to get it as soon as possible, because everyone's going to be fighting for it. And then there'll be a price war, which you inevitably have to take part in. Okay, I think that's gonna pretty much be it for this video. I think I've talked a little bit much. If I find anything better, if I find new tips and better stuff, I will let you guys know. But for now, this is it from me, and this is pretty much the only thing I have for you guys today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys again on the next one. This is your Uncle Big Fish. Bye.